I'm telling you, God is looking for some people that would worship Him in spirit and in truth. He's not looking for people that could just sing songs off of a screen. But He says, I'm looking for some violent warriors. I'm looking for some spiritual snipers. I'm looking for some spiritual warriors that are not going to be okay with status quo.
KMF like 100D, walking power like we run the streets. I don't fear what can be done to me, cause I've been dead, it's a sun in me. Told the devil get up under me, I just don't feel like I'm losing today. I just might load up the music and spray. Demons scattered, they gon' move when we pray. Live what we preach, what we do, what we say. Run with the kings like I move with LA. Depend on the spirit, I trust in the spirit. That's a ghost ride if you come from the bay. Shout out Miles Minute, call God, I'm on the dial with it. Been redeemed by the blood of Jesus, He beat the cross, now the trial's finished. Gavel bang, my life is changed. You don't gotta live life in chains. Scope on a viper, a spiritual sniper, just say the word, I got the sight in range. Loaded with scripture to flow out the Richter. Old me is dead like they holding the picture. Album ain't done to your bro in the mixture, redeemed. I wrote this in a Robinson. Ready for battle, ready we armored up. Boots on the ground, spiritual army, ain't nothing harming us. With the righteous now, spiritual snipers now. Feel like I said, load up and pray to my spiritual sniper now.
Let me talk to them boys like this, Young Z. Submit to the Father and look at them flee. Here with the family, I'm in with the team. Telling my enemies, come take a seat. Raising my hand, worship the one from Bethlehem. Talking Jerusalem, they ain't thinking that I'm holy now. Cause I ain't walking side with a suit or something. Tell these demons better move along. Spiritual sniper, got a little wiser. Look at this fire, I will invite them. Talking about gyro. Now I'm in front of my Bible. Bible so private, went to the back. Took my pain like pick up your mat. Some of y'all folks just won't understand. Do it for the king to the south to the north. Do it to the east to the west, don't fold. Gotta give it all if you really gon' grow. Look at these promises, look at this old. Talking about have you heard the one that came to serve and He was crucified for your freedom, huh? Fire burning, I'm a speaking tongue. Talking about let your will be done.
Ready for battle, ready we armored up. Boots on the ground, spiritual army, ain't nothing harming us. With the righteous now, spiritual snipers now. Feel like I said, load up and pray to my spiritual sniper now.
A spiritual sniper, disciple, hey, watch when we shoot cause we hit you from long range. That's why when it comes to survival, I hope when you pray, you don't pray in the wrong name. And how can you win if you fearful? Man, you supposed to live fearless. Who you think control creation? Christ of the king, don't forget that He's still in. Alpha, Omega, wonderful, wonderful Savior. Justice and righteousness, your foundation is filled with favor. You hate what is wicked, wicked. You love what is truly kindness. Make friends with a faithful person. Bring shame to the double-minded. The simple believe every word. The prudent consider each steps. The lip of the wise give you knowledge, no lie, but the heart of the fool will reject. A better is little with fear, so I figure it's better than treasure with trouble. A better is in the way you know they love you, they eating with hatred that doubles. Jesus said, I am, you will see the Son of Man sitting at the right hand of power and all of heaven coming with Him. Sniper, sniper, Bible my rifle. Sniper, sniper, look at that viper. Ay, bring the church together, don't let nobody divide. Just say, I am, you will see the Son of Man sitting at the right hand of power and all of heaven coming with Him. Sniper, sniper, Bible my rifle. Sniper, sniper, look at that viper. Ay, bring the church together, don't let nobody divide you.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Check it. Look at me, I'm all the way turned up. I ain't smoking, but my homie in here burnt up. Yeah, I'm working on him, but he straight though. Couple girls tryna twerk it on me, wait, no. Hold up. Before you even roll up, I'm in here with my lady. Can't you see me, man? I'm sold up. Man, I'm in here tryna celebrate a birthday. And you know I'm good and well, it's a work day. No matter, we still gon' kick it, and we ain't getting trippy. No Molly in Mississippi, ain't fighting nobody, ain't nobody said tripping. And Southeast Dago in the building. Shout out to Peter Pan, Skyline Imperial. We out here tryna function. Holla if you with it though. Probably think I'm rolling, I'm just high on the spirit, bro. The only thing we poppin' is the truth. You don't hear me though. They probably think I'm rolling, I ain't on nothing. They probably think I'm rolling, I ain't on nothing. They probably think I'm rolling, I ain't on nothing. But what I got you need to know about is homie, I'm turned. 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 Everybody slow motion, leaning off the potion. motion. I tell them I'm straight, trying to keep my mind focused. Came 40 deep, clicked up, crew love. Got them looking at us crazy cause we so turned up. Yeah, homie, I'm turned. I ain't popping, rolling, and I ain't burnt. So tell Mary and Molly, I don't need them to party. Someone woke up in the lobby trying to locate their wallet, while I'm 9 holes in trying to work on my hobby. And I wish somebody would get me started. Hey, deuces up to Nipsey, K. Dot and gang. I'm out here in the West, don't holler at me, man. My bloodstream clean, nothing running through my veins. It's 116, yeah, I'm still unashamed. I call it network if I'm out here fishing. You know I'm with the clicking, man, we out here trying to kick it. You know that we turn. They probably think I'm rolling, I ain't on nothing. They probably think I'm rolling, I ain't on nothing. They probably think I'm rolling, I ain't on nothing. But what I got you need to know about, cause homie, I'm turned. 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 I'm turned.
Because their parents are desperate. What it is their parents are desperate to get them out of these countries because these countries are third world, and they're desperate. They don't even think that they have a better chance being a coyote to get their children there. You get what I'm saying? And sometimes these kids make it. Sometimes these kids don't. But I guarantee you this, according to statistics, I think I want to say it was like 40% or something like that of the children that they are encountered at the border actually turn out to be by themselves, and the people that they're with are of no relation to them whatsoever. Well, Mike, that brings up again back to where we started. To think, now it's all very well and good for me to have an opinion. And I live in a country surrounded by water, and things are very different here. But you, now again, I never liked the man, Donald Trump. Never liked him. Yeah, he's a loudmouth for sure. Yeah, but I did like him. I mean, I voted for him. I'll be the first to admit I was hoping Pence would actually make it to where calm down a little bit, but we all know how that played out in the end. Well, I would have found it very hard to argue with his policies. Look at how effective he was. They worked. As much as I never liked the man, he made what I thought was a pretty, if I was an American, I'd be pretty happy with him as a politician. Hey, when you have coyotes who are doing work for the Mexican, like these Mexican cartels, basically. And when you have coyotes telling you, hey, I like the previous administration better, it was safer for business. I mean, really? Come on. What more proof do you need? Well, really? That's astounding. That's absolutely shocking. I mean, you must walk down the street and just look at... It is. What is wrong with people's brains? It's like, you know... Hey, brother, you already...
You know, your family, like, to the point to where if you lived in the States, you'd be coming over for family barbecues. But, you know, like when me, you, and Jess talked, it does. It makes you want to, it does make you want to bang your head into the table sometimes. You know what I mean? Well, it's just.
When what you're all you've talked about, like anyone who disagrees with what you're saying has a real fucking problem. You know, how could you possibly remember back 2 or 3 years ago and how that border situation had been brought under some level of control, and then look at what happened since? You would have to be an interest. You'd have to have. I'd look at anyone that says, "Oh no, I prefer Biden." I'd say, "Well, what interest in perversion do you have?" I mean, well,
with all the Ashley Biden stuff coming out, Mal, you do. You gotta.
You'd wonder to yourself. You'd say, "Hey, well, why do you think that way? Why now? How does it benefit you for wrong to be so prevalent?" Because here I am, 10,000 miles away, and I can see very clearly what you're saying. I find it hard to disagree. And we can all remember 2 and 3 years ago. It's not that long. It's not that fucking hard. What sort of person would be saying, "Oh no, I prefer things as they are now," as opposed to 2 or 3 years ago?
They're saying what it is I believe they're hypnotized. Like, we have an epidemic right now, and I've had
an
some
epidemic of stupidity.
Thank you. That's what I was about to say. But you know me, like, one thing I like about you, Mal, is you say what I'm thinking before I say it in that aspect, because I'm not going to put it out there like that. But yes, there's an epidemic of what I call in the high school and the college realm right now.
We'll just acknowledge Jaded, and please ask Jaded to type anything so I can check his blue. Continue, please.
Oh yeah, no doubt. That's what we need. Colleges and high schools have an epidemic of monkey see and monkey do.
Yeah, well,
and what I mean, let me clarify for the ultra PC people if they're going to watch later. What I mean by that is, when I say monkey see, monkey do, I mean basically follow the effing leader. They're incapable of independent thought. They have a gang mentality. They can't help but follow what their fellow person is saying to do. Whether it be a celebrity, whether it be a politician they like, whether it be a health official they like, whether it be a boss they like, whether it be anybody they like, as long as it's one or two or more people, they have a gang mentality and they're right. Do you get what I'm saying?
Yeah, I do get what you're saying. And again, I talk about stupidity.
Thank you, J. I appreciate that.
I talk about stupidity, Mike. It's off the chart. And me of all people, like, for me to be saying it's off the chart, I always thought people were kind of stupid. I just did. But I would never, ever have believed it could get so out of control. And really, it has done since 2019. I saw 6 months after my mother passed, stupidity just went boom. It just went to the moon. It just took off. It was fashionable. It was cool. It was
like, when did that happen? You know, like, and I was just telling somebody this, and like I say, for reasons as always, I leave names out of it. But as I was just saying to the other night to somebody, when I was growing up, you know, we were big on anti-labels. We were like, don't you put a label on me. It didn't matter if they were gay. It didn't matter if they were black, if they were white, if they were brown, if they were immigrant. It didn't matter. Don't you put an F in an immigrant. Don't you put a label on me. I'm me, and that's it. Bottom line. You get what I'm saying? I am what I tell you I am, and that's it. You get what I'm saying? There was no need for labels. We were anti-label, and we were anti-establishment. Well, we were questioning the authority.
Hasn't that done a complete 180? I mean, that has totally just flipped.
I just don't know what happened, because you want to say rock and roll died almost, or the spirit of it. Absolutely. You get what I'm saying?
I know what you're saying.
Hold on, let's say. I get that. I get what you're trying to say, Jaded. I really do. This is the whole thing, is when we were growing up, we were all about, you remember, I guess, Rage Against the Machines would be the best example. We were, fight the power, you know, we were question the authority, you know what I mean? Question the establishment, and we were anti-label. Now they are pro-authoritarian. They're chanting, yesterday in London, Mal, they were chanting communist dictators' names from history. Some of them, like we've talked about on this show, Pol Pot and others, chanting them. British teenagers, college age and high school, chanting in the middle of freaking central London and etc. down the streets.
Unbelievable. Just unbelievable.
The very people that would lock you up for you being whoever you want to be. Let me ask you something. Do you think that Pol Pot, Adolf Hitler, Stalin, or in China, do you think any one of them is going to care if you identify as whatever you identify as before they put that bullet in your head? Because they disagree with it in general?
Really? I mean, it's
they wouldn't have. They would have killed you.
Of course.
Some of these countries, they still do. Right now, people are getting killed left and right. Do you get what I'm saying? And that's just for basic rights. Okay. So in America, years ago, whenever my adopted dad was coming up, see, my adopted dad was gay. And before he was able to marry his partner, they had to pass two things. They had to pass the Equality Act. Okay. The Equality Act meant that they could actually get married to be able to file taxes such as a regular married. They're basically a regular married couple. Okay. And then they had to pass the Don't Ask, Don't Say Repeal Act. Okay. What that meant is they could be gay in the military openly. They basically had complete freedom at that point. Okay. So when did it go from us defending them to have that right to them trying to tell people on TikTok and etc. globally, we're coming after your children and you can't stop us. We're going to convert your children. There's nothing you can do to stop us. So at what point did we make this a political war? You get what I mean? Or better yet, at what point did every basic human movement that ever started throughout history, everything our grandparents, our great-grandparents, and everything else has ever fought for, at what point has it been flip-flopped? All this madness.
Well, Mike, it's a fascinating thing, and again, I'd go back to the.
I appreciate that again, Jay. I really do, bud.
The domination of idiocy. I've really seen it take off, and all my life I've thought I thought I was a narcissist. Why do I think everyone's an idiot but me? I was really that arrogant once upon a time. But since 2019, since the beginning of 2020 till now, stupidity's taken off in a way that I mean, I can't even watch news or anything. It'd cause you to rip your hair out and bang your head against. It would drive you insane.
It does. The amount of news, like you were saying to me in private conversation before, like almost every other time you talked to me, I had news going off in the background. The amount of news you have to do or intake is insanity, and that's why I told you I had to take that long break for a while, because it starts to, you basically start feeling like you're there because you're covering it all the time or you're watching it all the time, and you're putting. I appreciate that. I really, really do. It's structuring these videos and going into all this detail and formulating these mini documentaries that put you in the aspect of there. And then when you did what I did before, which I don't recommend, which is where you actually engage people in these groups off and on, you know what I mean, to the level that I did, it really starts to mess with you after a while, and you start to realize after a while what it's really about, and it's been bought and paid for. This isn't the real movement. You know what I'm saying? This isn't the, it does, and it did. I think Malice could actually tell you for sure, because I know what you just typed. But I know you don't know for a minute. He watched me go through it in private for a while. You know what I mean? But you start to see what it really is after a while. And like I told you, I realized it's been bought and paid for. These aren't like the real movements that they're trying to claim that they're part of. They're basically pulling on the coattails of actual movements that stood something. The original groups from World War II, as we discussed before, they were predominantly Jewish, for one, and two.
And like when someone pops up and they're calling themselves Antifa, anti-fascist, me and you were there, we're in real time, we'd say, do these people know what the word anti means? Do they know what the word fascist means? Like, how silly does it have to fucking get before the majority you say, "Hey, hold on a minute, you idiots are too silly to take any notice of."
It's one of those things. You're absolutely right. You're absolutely right. I was just talking to my friend in Israel about that not too long ago. You know what I mean? And we laugh about some of the American movements and some of the stuff they do because they're just not even close to being accurate to real things that's going on. I will say this, whether I agree with it or disagree with it, which is frankly, I disagree with it. Okay. And I disagree with it on aspects of my own terms, but the political fascist group that you just named, the actual movement that's actually achieved to do anything in Germany
was literally anti-fascist. I mean, they were that. They were
right.
named appropriately.
I wasn't even saying that. I was saying the modern real one in Germany that's actually established a political seat.
Oh, okay. I didn't know that.
Yeah. I forget in which county. Do you get what I'm saying? So I look at it like there's real ones and there's fake ones. There's ones that's been bought and paid for, and there's fake ones. Just like with anything, distractions. Do you get what I'm saying? But in my experience, they're nothing like these real historic movements. The real historic movements, these people have like 6 groups, like 6 people with rifles hiding in the woods, and they were literally picketing off whole platoons of Nazis. Okay, and the reason why I said what I said before, when I retracted some of the stuff I said about BLM and all that, was mainly due to the fact that I think that it is a fraud. That's one. However, the principles of what it was meant for would have been a good thing if it wasn't a fraudulent purpose. So what that found out to be with Patrice and all that over a period of time, which I always thought it was, based on the radical nature of as she progressed. Do you get what I'm saying? But a lot of these movements aren't even like those movements from even then either, because you got to think about it. This time period isn't like back then. You're not seeing people being segregated like you were in the 60s or 70s, but their media sure are making you feel like it is. Do you get what I'm saying? At no point in time, I mean, think about it. Me and my wife were just talking about this the other day. When we were growing up, we had shows like Family Matters, A Different World, all these different hip hop shows that really were breaking points for many actors that we have today, such as Will Smith, Jada Pinkett Smith, Jennifer Lopez, and the list goes on and on. These were shows that highlighted basically a mixing culture, okay, a big mixing pot. People were interculture dating. We were all about that. Do you get what I'm saying? And they try to say no representation, but clearly there was representation, because I was just watching a show from 1993 that was talking about clearly a racist incident that was aired on prime time on TGIF Friday at one point. Do you get what I'm saying? So really what they're doing is they're taking a couple of incidences, and Hollywood is pumping money into it, and they're taking it something like this, and they're going, and they're blowing this up like this big bubble, right? And eventually what's going to happen?
Pop.
Pop. And everybody loses their shit. Do you get what I'm saying? But I revert back to even further before I go, because I do got to cut this off here pretty shortly. But back to Stalin. The reason why I want to bring all this up, the distraction thing. So it was Stalin in the Soviet Union that first established that you can control people and you can control the narrative by, at the time, they didn't have television, mind you, like we have now. But back then they used the radio, okay, and they used news articles. So what they would do is use the local colleges primarily. So they use the colleges and they use the radio systems to pump a certain narrative that they wanted out, right? And they would do the same thing with the newspapers, basically controlling the narrative. And what this did, what they realized is people would believe it if enough people actually said it. So so say like 6 people in your community started like a wildfire. Well, before you know it, you're going to have 3 other people over here talking about it. Well, it's going to be a little bit different, but you're going to have them talking about it, right? Well, then some time goes by and you got these other people talking about it.
Yep.
And then what do you have? You have the
exception. They accept it like it's gospel. Yes, I know.
You're controlling the narrative. Now what they're doing, because we have technology and we have that's basically we've allowed the technology to adapt to our own usage. Okay, so that means our devices learn us. We don't learn it. A lot of people have this flip script. I love how Elon Musk put that. Elon Musk, I think, was the one that said that at one point. We think we actually know our devices, but our devices learn us.
Yeah, wow.
The reason why I want to bring all this up, the distraction thing. So Stalin, it was Stalin in the Soviet Union that first established that you can control people and you can control the narrative. At the time, they didn't have television, mind you, like we have now. But back then they used the radio, okay, and they used news articles. So what they would do is use the local colleges primarily. So they use the colleges and they use the radio systems to pump a certain narrative that they wanted out, right? And they would do the same thing with the newspapers, basically controlling the narrative. And what this did, what they realized is people would believe it if enough people actually said it. So so say like 6 people in your community started like a wildfire. Well, before you know it, you're going to have 3 other people over here talking about it. Well, it's going to be a little bit different, but you're going to have them talking about it, right? Well, then some time goes by and you got these other people talking about it.
Yep.
And then what do you have? You have the
exception. They accept it like it's gospel. Yes, I know.
You're controlling the narrative. Now what they're doing, because we have technology and we have that's basically we've allowed the technology to adapt to our own usage. Okay, so that means our devices learn us. We don't learn it. A lot of people have this flip script. I love how Elon Musk put that. Elon Musk, I think, was the one that said that at one point. We think we actually know our devices, but our devices learn us.
Yeah, wow. Gee,
you know what I mean?
Something to think about. but it is true. Like, you're right. I know you're right.
Well, and that's what I'm trying to say. So if our devices learn us, it's only natural that they're going to feed us information that they want us to see. You actually have to do what me and many other people do, and I support full-heartedly the way bigger people that do podcasting, bigger news agencies that stick their necks on the line, like Harvey. And the reason why is because they're doing it in a time period where they're trying to control the narrative, and I mean, really a lot of these people have put their careers and reputations on the line in ways that people just don't see. You know what I mean?
That Harvey can barely walk down the street, mate, without someone calling him a Nazi. I mean, he was only an Israeli soldier, for Christ's sake. It's like he's kind of like the Ben Shapiro of Australia. The people that attack him, and I'm not saying everything he says is 1,000,000% right, although most of it is. Yeah, I mean, I find it hard to argue with him. I certainly wouldn't. Him as a fool, but a lot of people do, and they are really
You have the
exception. They accept it like it's gospel. Yes, I know.
You're controlling the narrative. Now what they're doing, because we have technology and we have that's basically we've allowed the technology to adapt to our own usage. Okay, so that means our devices learn us. We don't learn it. A lot of people have this flip script. I love how Elon Musk put that. Elon Musk, I think, was the one that said that at one point. We think we actually know our devices, but our devices learn us.
Yeah, well, geez,
you know what I mean?
Something to think about. but it is true. Like, you're right. I know you're right.
Well, and that's what I'm trying to say. So if our devices learn us, it's only natural that they're going to feed us information that they want us to see. You actually have to do what me and many other people do, and I support full-heartedly the way bigger people that do podcasting, bigger news agencies that stick their necks on a line, like Harvey. And the reason why is because they're doing it in a time period where they're trying to control the narrative, and I mean, really a lot of these people have put their careers and reputations on the line in ways that people just don't see. You know what I mean?
That Harvey can barely walk down the street, mate, without someone calling him a Nazi. I mean, he was only an Israeli soldier, for Christ's sake. It's like he's kind of like the Ben Shapiro of Australia. The people that attack him, and I'm not saying everything he says is 1,000,000% right, although most of it is. Yeah, I mean, I find it hard to argue with him. I certainly wouldn't dismiss him as a fool, but a lot of people do, and they are really, really stupid people. I've sent you videos of people that try to make arguments. They're some of the dumbest people you'll ever find. They're insane.
Right. Sorry, I had to come outside to get some air real quick, guys. But they really are, and that's what I'm saying. And it's nothing against nothing. I'm just hoping that people overall, through all the shows I've done, and like I said, I'm still going to be doing stuff. It's just going to be a little bit different. You know what I mean? But through all the more extremer content that I've done, such as the genocide, Mal, you too, you know what I mean? Because you've always been there. The BLM stuff, the Antifa stuff, the Biden. Remember when I did the frazzle drip and got my ass handed to me by freaking Google in less than like freaking 3 minutes or ever for dropping the frazzle drip video? Just take from it one thing and just know that it doesn't matter what the emblem they have on the suit is. The point is they still have a suit. And if they got a suit, they're probably looking at you as one thing. You could be bought and you could be paid for. Do you get what I'm saying? One of my favorite songs is by Solar Lights. One of my favorite songs is by a Christian rapper named Bizzle. And it's called Not For Sale. He's out of Houston. And in that video, he shows a suit going up to him and his homeboys in the hood. Now, a lot of these guys never left their hood. They're just a Christian in the hood. They're like, oh, well, that's just such and such. He's all about church now. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So, and he's just talking to his homeboys, and this dude in his suit comes up in the music video, and he's trying to shake their hand and offering them all this other stuff. He goes, you reaching out to try to shake my hand, but I ain't going to shake it. You know what I mean? He goes, you're never going to get me to sign me over to Satan. You know what I mean? So what I'm saying is, a lot of times these suits are going to tell you whatever they think that you want to hear based on data that they've compiled on research. Okay. So they're saying that people showing signs of this. Well, the people are kind of And you know how in depth I'm serious about covering different stuff now, because me and you have talked about it.
Yeah.
But we're on the brink of a potential world war like nobody's seen, with a lot of biological aspects to it. We're on the brink of economic collapse, not just in my own country, across the globe, because they're trying to force the WEF, the World Economic Forum, is trying to force everybody to go to their one world economy, which is going to be electric format. You get what I mean? So their plan is basically to make us suffer to the point to where we're basically going to be willing to vote for whatever the politicians tell us to. Do you get what I mean? That's how this shit is actually rigged. It's like our politicians draft up these bills that are co-signed by these other people, that the voters aren't necessarily knowing who's all behind the scenes doing. But it's benefiting these other people overseas somehow. You get what I mean? We're just told we're just basically told the basic thing. You know, it's kind of funny. Cat Williams once said, "A pimp's job is to tell a hoe whatever they need to hear. He don't necessarily say it in the way where the hoe understands. The hoe just gets out of the car and goes, I don't know what I'm supposed to do, but damn it, I'm going to go out there and start." He does a bobbing motion. I'm going to go out there and do my job or whatever. You know what I mean? Because that's what a politician does. He goes, we're at home. We're just smoking our blunt, smoking our joint or whatever, having our drink. And they're using, at the time was September 11th, right? So he said they're not using words regular people can identify. They're using words like insurgent. They're using words like that. So they're not saying today we bombed 17 women, 12 children in 3 different schools. They'll say we bombed this amount of insurgents. And we're sitting at home going, I don't know any type of insurgent. I guess you could bomb them all to whatever. Do you get what I'm saying?
I can hear you, mate. Yes. Yes, I hear you.
I appreciate that, Jay. I really do. I mean, and that's how the system is all rigged in the end. Do you get what I mean? So at the end of the day, you got to focus on what's going to make you happy at this point. The way this is looking, because I never thought I would ever see it look the way that it's starting to look. I just seen something right here. Australian journalist Tony Armstrong. Something just happened that popped across my screen.
Yep.
So that's what I'm trying to say. That's what I'm trying to say, Mal, is there's always something popping off like that just feed across, right? Yep. Think about what I just said. What we were just talking about. What just went across my phone. It feeds you what it thinks you need to see. Do you get what I mean?
Yep.
So keep it. That's what I mean by chase what's happiness to you. And I know you're not a believer in the same thing I am, brother. And that's, you know how I feel about that. But me and you're still like a brother from another mother. But what I'm saying is, for me, it would be I focus on God, family, and community. Because at the end of the day, when the shit hits the fan, what's going to matter? When the shit hits the fan, the only thing that's going to matter is God, your family, and the community. What else are you going to have?
Yeah, well, it's true, Mike.
That's why they love division. If they can keep us divided, we can't focus on that last third. We can't focus on that third one.
Yep.
If we're so divided, we won't focus on community. We'll just focus on the first two, which is God and family. But we'll throw community out. But if we're not divided, if we're united, we're going to focus on all 3. Do you get what I'm saying? Because remember what I told you. It's crucial to certain organizations that you believe in some form of higher power, just because it's proven that if you don't believe in a higher power, you're more easily bought because you have less fear of a punishment in an afterlife. Do you get what I mean?
Yeah, I do, and without going into a half-hour-long conversation,
right? No doubt, it's easy for me and you. I know.
I find that a shame in itself. You know, you have to be threatened in order to do what's
basically
really just logical. You know.
Well, they're counting on it. I mean, I just said today to some people about the WEF, and they don't even know what the WEF is over here. A lot of people. I'm like, how do you not know what the WEF is? The WEF funds the WHO, who all these other agencies answer to. So basically, WEF is writing out the paychecks for what the fuck your government's telling you to do. The reason why your government is telling you to do it is because the World Economic Forum told the World Health Organization this is what needs to happen. Yeah. And they paid for it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So all of a sudden they expect results. Do you get what I'm saying? I mean, let's be honest. That's what it is. But nobody wants to be honest. It's like those comedians say, nobody wants to talk about what's real. You know what I mean?
Very true, Mike.
And that's why I reverted back to those three principles. So I don't care what you believe in. Let's say that. Okay, let's throw that out there. Just believe in something, your family and community. You know what I mean? Damn infection, man. Bear with me. Hold on. I don't know what the fuck is going on with me nowadays, man. Like I told you the other day, but anyway, no matter what I've learned, it's crucial for people to realize, focus on those three things, because that's the reason why they're trying to take it all away. Because if you think about it, man, break it down. Honestly, I put it on Twitter earlier today. I mean, honestly, if you take away aspects, you lose hope. The reason, like, think about it. Why would they encourage LGBT? They're not encouraging the gay community, bro. They're encouraging trans community. That's not gay community. That's trans, okay? That's not gay. Put it together. What does trans accomplish? Trans accomplish depopulation, because you can't depopulize if you don't have the body parts to actually produce, right? So that's why they're encouraging that by the masses. That and the fact that they actually know majority of people actually commit suicide that actually go through with the actual procedure. Do you dig what I'm saying? The reason why they're going after the nuclear family structure is for the same reason. Because without if you could go after the nuclear family structure and you can actually sever the nuclear family structure, then you actually cause people to actually lose hope, which actually makes them get depressed, which actually leads them to actually getting what? Sick, which actually leads to what? Death, which leads to what? Depopulation, which supports what? The actual depopulation goal, which is what? One of the third or fourth principle of the actual Green Deal that was drafted years ago. You know what I'm saying? You just got to put the pieces together.
Yeah, it's scary, man. It really is.
They're blind, dude. They don't see it. It's almost like they don't want to see it.
Oh, that's exactly right.
You get what I'm saying?
Whoa.
It's all been bought and paid for, bro. None of it's original. And that's why I said I stick to those three principles now. You know what I mean? Yeah, I mean, the majority of people I know across the globe actually agree with me on that, because that's why they're taking away those. Those three things actually provide life. Okay? Those three principles will lead to life, which will lead to production. They don't want production. What have they been complaining about? Bill Gates in 1997 gave that TED Talk series on why we need to depopularize the globe for health reasons and for resources. You think they forgot about all that? Why is all of the land that Bill Gates has bought? He's bought, like, I think, 60% of America's natural waterways? Like the ones that he could actually, the water reservoirs he's bought. That's Bill Gates' own now. Why did he do that?
Yeah, wow.
Because it's a life-sustaining resource. Now, the reason why I'm saying that is that happened a while ago, because the United States government just recalled the tap water in the United States nationally. And I quote, for forever chemicals in it. We don't know what forever chemicals are, by the way. They're not saying what forever chemicals are. They're just saying it's forever chemicals in a tank water and we can't drink it. You know what I mean? But yet you can't find water on the shelves either. What is water? Life sustaining.
Yeah. Of course, yeah. You got to have order.
Well, that's what I'm saying. I think you're right, Jay, but then I started thinking about all these people. Why are they actually buying up property on different planets at a rapid rate? Because here's my theory on that. My theory on that is they've messed up our weather trying to do all this different stuff to the point to where they've created an atmosphere they can't control and they're trying to get off the planet. You got to think about that NASA machine that I put in that video a couple months back that actually proved they do cloud manipulation. And they did show on BBC live on air, they produced a thunderstorm. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So I think they just messed up things to the point to where they're trying to get the hell off the planet. They don't care about us. They've always wanted to kill us. You know what I mean? They're just trying to do whatever in the meantime, bro.
All right, Mike, I've got to go down the shops, mate. So if we can leave it there.
Put that down for a catch.
I don't have a quarrel with you, teacher. We've been doing this all night. Nothing. All right. At your word. Anything you ask, I will do.
Follow me. Would you at least know him if you saw him again?
I will know him for the rest of my life.
Preparing something to share with the world. These things will make sense to some, but not to others. I'm here to start a revolution.
Oh Lord, give me a sign, 'cause I'm tasting blood and I think that it's mine.
His care is for women, for the vulnerable.
Blasphemy is not harmless. Well, the Pharisees were pretty upset.
Sometimes you gotta stir up the water.
They're martyrs with a persecution complex. I want to kill him.
Do you want to be healed? I have something that's open to all people. Get up and walk.
If he was supposed to be healed, God would have done it himself.
That's an interesting point.
Your fame is spreading, the good kind.
You have certainly livened things up around here.
Word travels fast.
Fellow peasant,
My heart is yours. My life is yours.
John the Baptizer was taken into custody.
Jesus of Nazareth, we finally meet.
David, Goliath, maybe there is hope for the little.
What we're doing here will last for generations. I want my people to participate in the healing of the world.
I do not feel very much worthy.
Who's worthy of anything? You?
The one comfort we have is to know that we're doing it together.
If not now.
When?
I'm here to preach the good news of the kingdom of heaven. I make a way for people to access that kingdom. In this world, bones will still break. Hearts will still break. But in the end, the light will overcome darkness.
Hey there, it's Dallas. I'm the creator of The Chosen, and if you haven't seen Season 1, or if you want to see Season 2, you gotta get The Chosen app. It's free, it's easy, it connects directly to your streaming device. You don't even need to subscribe.
Into the enemy's eyes, and let him know that he has met his match, that nothing will be denied the one that won't be denied. You have to make it clear to your opponent that there is no quit in you. You have to make it known to him that no matter what he does, you serve a God greater than him. That there's a power on the inside of you that makes you unstoppable. That you are not scared to get in the ring to fight for what you want in life. The flesh of the warrior is mortal and vulnerable with weaknesses, but the mind and spirit inside the champion is a savage force of undeniable will that's fierce and violent to anything that threatens its ambition. Scarred and wounded, the warrior not deterred. He remains steadfast and unwavering faith to the God that lives within him. Alone he fights, blinded by darkness, but still he moves forward, outflanking every maneuver that hell attempts to conquer him with. He gets bolder and more aggressive with every step he takes toward greatness. Sucker punched by life, knocked down to the mat several times, but he stretches for the ropes to climb out of the mouth of defeat. His emotional jaw broke, exhausted with two black eyes, gasping for air, nothing left in the tank. The enemy sure of victory till he heard him say, I'm hurt, scarred, you'll never ever break me. Hurt, scarred, you'll never ever break me. Hurt, scarred, you'll never ever break me. I'm wounded but not broken, wounded but not broken. I'm hurt, scarred, you'll never ever break me. Hurt, scarred, you'll never ever break me. Hurt, scarred, you'll never ever break me. I'm wounded but not broken, wounded but not broken. Wounded but not broken, got one shot, don't blow this. Distractions, can't focus, my mask on, can't show this. Too busy out here glowing, that fan base keeps growing. Momentum, can't slow it, I'm Mozart composing. She posing with her hair dyed, fake friends and their twisted lies. Contacts, blue eyes, plastic chicks with 9 lives. 3 junkies, just getting high. Black ice, touch the sky, blinded by the sunrise. I'm wounded, but still alive. Sweet candles keep burning, the world keeps on turning. learning. I'm seeking discernment. My spirit keeps yearning. School books with no learning. Here, star boy, you earned it. That fire from the furnace. The world is yours and you earned it. Syllabily keep burning. The world is yours and you earned it. I'm wounded but not broken. Got one shot, don't blow this. Distractions, can't focus. My mask on, can't show this. Too busy out here glowing. That fan base keeps growing. Momentum, can't slow it. I'm Mozart composing. Rock stars, smoking no Cuban cigars. Flossing in those rental cars. That ain't really who you are. I hate you like my team did, but not broken. Wounded, but not broken. Rock stars, smoking no Cuban cigars. Flossing in those rental cars. That ain't really who you are. I hate you like my team did, but not broken. Wounded, but not broken. Wounded, but not broken. Wounded, but not broken. This is Dr. Billy Allsbrooks, blessed and unstoppable. Impact 1 billion people. The art of motivation. Welcome to the Louvre, and to God be the glory. I'm on the other side of this speaker, but even from here I can see your struggle. I can feel your pain. I know what you're going through, man. Everybody done gave up on you. Everybody's done written you off. All the smart money in Vegas betting against you. That you can't get up off the mat. That you will never overcome this. You've been loyal. You've kept it real. Anytime anybody needed you, you were there. Now you going through the struggle. You're going through the trial, you're going through the tribulation, and you look up and you say, where is everybody? I know you feel alone, I know you feel bitter, I know you're mad at the world, but the question is, how are you going to respond? I am wounded, but I am not broken. I am by myself, but I am not alone. When I am weak, I know my God is strong, and I will not quit until I prove them all wrong. As the walls close in and the light fades, the dark choir singing in perverted ways. Hell's opera, fire, the death of days, the blood of the Lamb and his righteous ways. I'm not afraid of struggling and fighting alone. I'm not afraid of traversing the dark alone. I'm not afraid to climb that mountain on my own. I'm not afraid to die. I've always been alone. Don't wait the savage. Yes, the struggle is real. And no, life hasn't turned out the way you thought it would. Even when you worked hard and put the time in and did the right things, still things didn't turn out the way you wanted them. That one you thought was a soulmate was just an illusion. That job promotion really wasn't a promotion, it was a jail sentence. I'm just keeping it real. That family that you thought was family never really acted like family. And those friends that you thought had your back are your biggest enemies. Now here's what we're gonna do. I'm gonna give you 24 hours to mourn, to cry it all out, a pout day. So you do what you need to do for the next 24 hours to get all that stuff out. And then I want you to answer this question. How are you going to respond? I am wounded, but I am not broken. I am by myself, but I am not alone. When I am weak, I know my God is strong, and I will not quit until I prove them all wrong. Kisses of betrayal, the knife cuts, the blood runs red, the shark's lust, emotional wounds, scars, broken trust. We got different vibrations, can't comprehend us. Romantic violence, flirting, making souls blush. Screams of chaos, gorgeous dreams being crushed. The blood runs red, the shark's lust. They're about to wake that savage inside of us. Don't wake the savage. Now one day down the road, you're gonna have to forgive these people that hurt you. But what I want you to do right now is to anchor this feeling, to channel all these emotions that you have on the inside, that betrayal, that anger, that bitterness. I want you to channel it. Now what the devil meant for harm, God will make good. See, there's a hidden energy, a hidden power, a secret locked in each and every trial and tribulation. And if you dig down and can find it, you can use it to go to that next level. Now you can anchor this energy, the anger, the bitter, the frustration that's in this situation. You can anchor that with all your senses in such a way that you can tap back into it and use it whenever you want. Channel all of that energy, that focus into your thing. Forgive, but never forget how this feels. So when you overcome, when you come up out of this, when you get back on top, and you start wanting to get complacent, when you start wanting to take off days and start making shortcuts, remember how you feel right now. Go back into this moment so that you never lose what you're about to come back and see. See, before this situation, you were good. But to be great, to be unstoppable, to be invisible, you need to go through this. You need to learn the lessons in this moment. Seize this moment and capture every ounce of knowledge, wisdom, and power that resides in this situation. And what the devil meant for harm, God will make good. Wounded, but not broken. In a coma, but not dead. Shh, don't wake the savage. This is Dr. Billy Owls Brooks, and I am blessed and unstoppable. Impact 1 billion people. Motivational art. Welcome to the Louvre. And to God be the glory. Every day, life is gonna test the edges of your resolve. And at some point or another, there will be an all-out war on all fronts to destroy your God-given destiny. Now the enemy will attack your dreams, your relationships, your finances, your health, everything that you love and find sacred. Like a lion, he will be coming for it all. The sun will set and the dark will be ushered in. Voices in the sky will begin to harmonize, and the choir of destruction will begin to sing their songs of fear and doubt with the intent of raping and murdering the greatness on the inside of you. The symphony of darkness will stir those closest to you to betray your trust at the most critical times of your life. The ambassadors of darkness, hoping that you will tap out, that you will quit, that you will give up on all that is dear to you. Your enemy will slash, cut, and stab you emotionally, attempt to wear you down mentally, relentlessly using every weapon at their disposal. Because the truth is, the enemy fears your future. When you get knocked down to the mat, warrior, you gotta go inside and find that voice and scream. I'm hurt, scarred, you'll never ever break me. Hurt, scarred, you'll never ever break me. Hurt, scarred, you'll never ever break me. I'm wounded but not broken, wounded but not broken. I'm hurt, scarred, you'll never ever break me. Hurt, scarred, you'll never ever break me.